Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day. I got an exciting video for you guys today. Today, I want to talk about a massive dip in the price of precious metals. And yes, that's not clickbait. I just don't think it's going to happen. However, I'm going to explain why a lot of people are saying there is a big dip coming. I'm going to also explain why I believe that there's not going to be a major big dip coming. But in the past, whenever I do a video like this, where it kind of is a little predictive, all of a sudden that day, you see some sort of a drop happen in the price of silver. Now, we'll see what happens today. Obviously, it is Tuesday morning at the time of you guys watching this. It's late Monday night at the time of me filming it. And, I'm just not seeing a big dip, but everybody's talking about it. So I figured it only makes sense that we talk a little bit about what they're thinking is going to happen and what I'm thinking is going to happen. With that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button. I really do appreciate it. And leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And if you're not subscribed, do the ultimate and hit that subscribe button. We are trying to grow the channel, and hopefully this will be a good video. And when you see what happens, then you might be like, man, he called it. He was right. So also a special thank you to all of our members of the channel. It is only $1.99 to become a member of the channel and help support the channel and the videos and the work that we do. However, there's also some really cool perks, including your comments go right to my phone. And on top of that, every month we do some kind of a special event where you have a shot at winning some free silver. So with that being said, let's get started, since everybody really wants to hear, are we going to see a big dip or what? So right off the bat, we got to take a look at the silver price today. Silver price right now, we're trading at $32.15 at the moment of filming this video. We have gold trading at $28.94. Some people say that was a nice little drop that we saw. I don't think that's a big drop at all. I mean, the high was what, 28.9 at 29.90, 2,900 right about. So yeah, we're still sitting down about $100, but at the end of the day, that's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. We've hit so many all-time highs in gold this year already that I think this is going to be a hot year for precious metals, and we're going to talk more about that here in just a minute. Taking a quick look at the DXY. DXY trading at, is it that low still? I'm wondering if that didn't refresh. It looks like it is trading at 103.77. Yep, I guess it was refreshed. 103.77 as it did drop a little bit more. A lot of talk right now about potential recession. We're going to get into that because I believe we've already long been in a recession. I've said it time and time again here on the channel, but some people say no, some people say yes. Who knows? We'll see. We're going to talk about that. Bitcoin, at the time of filming yesterday, I purposely didn't refresh this one because it was brutal today. Bitcoin currently trading at 82,271, and I said that we would probably retest the low of 79 and that we would probably break through it and go even lower. So I'm going to refresh it real quick, and boom, there it is, 79 already. Although today it really got hammered. We were down to 76. So now you got to understand, between where we're at now and 76, there's not much in between, which means we could see it dip right back even lower. I'm not a big Bitcoin fan. I know some of y'all are. With their predictions of $250,000 Bitcoin, I can only laugh and say we'll see what happens. With my opinion, I'd rather hold physical. And I did a video yesterday where I talked about a lot of traps that are out there to take you away, divert your money, your hard-earned savings, your hard-earned wealth away from precious metals like gold and silver. And I think basically Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is one of them, but we'll talk more about that a little later. We got the U.S. debt still 36.5 trillion, about ready to hit 36.6 trillion. And the big Fed meeting coming in just a couple weeks. In a week, on the 18th and the 19th of March. Originally, they were saying there's no chance they were going to do any kind of rate cuts. However, with what's going on in the stock market that we're going to take a look at here in about 10 seconds, 20 seconds, I think there's a good chance we're going to see a rate cut. If they don't do a rate cut, It's going to be interesting to see what the stock market does, because the Dow Jones today was down another almost 900 points, or 2%. But here's the thing, that may look bad, but let me zoom out just a little bit. We're down 2.6% in 5 days. Over the last month, we're down 6%, or roughly $2,700. You're starting to see the come down. A lot of people are kind of getting a little shaky. What's going on? Is it the end of the world? We have too many more of these bad days, and it could be. We'll see what happens. NASDAQ trading down over 700 points, or 4%, which is pretty bad. And economic fears, the possibility of us going to a recession. If you don't think we're in a recession, you haven't been paying attention. You really haven't. This ain't from trade war, in my opinion. This is because of what's going on in the economy. This is a recession, a full-blown recession, and it's getting harder and harder to hide it. And here's the thing. I believe the powers that be that have been hiding it are not going to hide it for this administration. They're going to let it take its course and see what happens. But hey, the fact is, oil's coming down, gas is coming down, and when I go fill up my tank, I see the price of gas, and I like seeing cheaper gas. So I'm going to say roll the dice and see what happens, and if things get worse, I don't have a 401k. I'm not heavily invested in the stock market. I'm not heavily invested in Bitcoin. I'm in sound money, what people move their money to when times get tough. And that's where my money is right now, and that's where a lot of people are starting to push their money to, because they know what is coming. Now, the big question is, are we going to see a huge pullback? Because nobody wants to go out and buy a huge amount of silver at $32.20, plus another couple dollars over spot for the premium, and then all of a sudden see the spot price plunge to $25 or even to $20, which is what a lot of people out there are saying. However, here's the thing you got to consider. Everybody wants to cite what happened in 2008. How in 2008, when the economy got bad, all of a sudden precious metals plunged. And yes, that did happen. But a lot of people are not factoring in why precious metals plunged. What drove precious metals lower back in 2008, only to see a huge spike that went astronomical in 2011, all the way up to $50 silver and $2,000 gold. Now, looking back at gold is well over $2,000 now. So at any point in history, if you've bought in gold, you should be up right now. With silver, there are people out there that say, yeah, but that ain't the same with silver. If by some fluke you bought in 2011 silver at $50 and you were not smart enough to continue to buy as the price plunged and basically dollar cost average down, because silver went as low as technically $15, except it actually went even lower during the whole cough, but you probably weren't going to be lucky enough to find any, because I looked and I wasn't able to find any for $11. But I did pick up a lot when it was at $15. There was opportunity there. But with that being said, why did it come down? What made it have that major drop in the price of precious metals? So a lot of that had to do with gold and silver being loaned out to banks that were in hard times. They were struggling. And so they loaned out the gold, they loaned out silver, and it basically got flooded onto the market. The banks sold it, generated the money, and it drove the price lower. Now, I actually just watched a video where they talked a lot about this. They did a really good job explaining it out. And, he explained why he don't think there's going to be a drop either. And that's one of my big reasons why. But everybody's talking about this huge drop. Here's the thing. Do you think in today's market where banks, the big bullion company banks, are struggling to generate? Look at the LBMA trying to borrow gold and silver from other banks, and they're having a hard time. That's why there's such a big delay on people getting their ounces. Now, some people want to say, oh yeah, that delay's only for the new people that are trying to get. Their old customers are getting their stuff instantly. No, they're not. New York is having bullion, gold and silver coming in hand over fist. Where is it all going? There's a lot of talk that maybe it's going just to try to beat the tariffs, and that was what it was coming in for. But why is it still coming in? The tariffs are there now, and it's still rolling in. But the truth of the matter, in my opinion, maybe it's Fort Knox getting ready to do their audit, so they're pouring in that gold. Or maybe it's just investors that know gold and silver is undervalued. I haven't been able to confirm this, but I was actually just watching a video where they were talking about how a lot of the people from the LBMA are either retiring or leaving, and one of them was going to start up a gold and silver fund where it was a startup, and all of a sudden why would they want to do that? That gets into a little speculation there. But it's interesting that these people are leaving or retiring. And like I said, I plan on double checking that just to verify some of that information and see what's going on. It's definitely going to get interesting. And, the people that are waiting for this pullback, I think they're just going to miss the boat. We've talked about this time and time again. When silver was down to $22, I did a video that did really good, and everybody was saying that it was going to go under 20. The fact that we went from 25 to 22 was awesome, in my opinion. It was a buying opportunity, and I basically flooded way more money than I can afford into it at that point. And here I am thinking now that we're pretty close to another step up, I believe. And a lot of people are just waiting, because when everybody's talking about a big pullback, it doesn't usually take long before that pullback doesn't happen. Now, I'm not saying we won't see a little bit of a drop. Maybe we'll see $31 today. And if we do, I'll be eager to jump on it. Maybe we'll see 30. That would be even nicer. I find it hard to believe we could go much lower than that with everything going on, because people are moving into gold and silver. More and more people are waking up to it. And quite frankly, everybody's been talking about a full reset. I mean, I've said time and time again, the current debt that the United States has, this U.S. debt clock is unsustainable. I mean, let's just, I hate to say once it falls and collapses and everybody starts over, then all of a sudden people have incentive to go to work. People have incentive to kind of do better, because there's a lot of people out there that are just have gotten to the point where, yeah, and don't get me wrong, they have buried themselves. They've buried themselves in debt. But I know a lot of people personally that literally have gone so far in debt that they're just like zoned out right now. They're just barely, they get up, they go to work, and they're just trying to make ends meet, and it's never ending. And once people realize that this is not sustainable, then you're ready to move on to something new. And I'm eager to embrace it. I mean, I don't want to say that when a fire burns down the forest, well, what happens? The forest comes back better than ever, stronger than ever. You have a whole new forest. You don't have all them knocked down trees that have passed away. Certain words I don't like to use on YouTube because it does something with the algorithm. I don't know. But, and then all of a sudden the forest catches fire, and all that debris and those leftover logs and stuff that have been sitting there, it's all turned to ashes. The ashes feed a whole new ecosystem, and things are just better. I believe that things are going to get worse first. I believe that eventually there will be a reset that comes. Is it going to happen tomorrow? I mean, it's probably not going to happen tomorrow. It's probably going to be a slow burn. I hate to say it like that. Until one day something major happens, and that's it. And I'm hoping it doesn't go by way of war. That's the thing that worries me all the time, because, I mean, that people lose their lives when that happens. And that, obviously, no amount of money is worth someone's life. And so I do worry about that. I actually had one friend tell me one time, he's like, yeah, but if we go to war, our gold and silver will go up. I said, yeah, but at what cost? At what cost? So who knows? We're going to see how some of this is going to play out. I don't think banks are going to loan out their gold. If they're holding physical gold, if they're holding physical silver, they're not going to loan it out so they can sell it on the market and drop the price down. Did it work out great before? Of course it did. They loaned out their gold, and then all of a sudden they got the IOU. The banks plunged the price of gold by selling it all on the market and silver. And then all of a sudden, big banks got to buy it right back up again. And I don't think it's going to play out that way now, though, because people that have physical are not letting it go. We're starting to see the musical game of musical chairs come to an end. And I really love this U.S. debt clock, because right here you can see the paper to silver ratio, the paper to gold ratio. You've got 129 claims to every ounce of gold. That means when the music stops, 128 people are not going to get their gold. And with silver, it's even worse. You've got 377 claims to every ounce of silver. Now, they'll be the first ones to tell you, does it really matter how many people claim their silver? Because at the end of the day, price will solve everything. And they're absolutely right. At $30 or $32 an ounce, I want my silver. At $40 an ounce, maybe I might want some silver. Maybe I'll take some cash. Who knows? It depends how much I have on hand. At $70, $80, oh, I'll take cash. I'll take some cash now and hope that they can beat the price down. But keep in mind, I'm in a different position than some other people because I've been stacking for a while. People that have been following me know I've been posting videos for almost, 7, 8 years? I've been stacking 2 years prior to that. I was actually looking at my original receipts the other day, and it was funny looking at them. I was like, man, when I first started stacking, it was that cheap. And some of y'all have been stacking a lot longer than me. Some of y'all remember being able to find silver coins in a cash register. You'd get handed in your change every day. I didn't have that opportunity. I got into it when Venezuela started. I was lucky enough to work with someone that his wife was Venezuelan, and he worked in the oil fields with me. And he told me what they were going through and that he was sending the family down there basically money and gift packages so they'd have resources and stuff. And I said, wow. And I started looking into it, and I'm like, man, what's stopping it from happening here? And I've actually had people say, you've been saying something bad was going to happen for a while now. Absolutely. This is not sustainable. It's not sustainable in the least. And then the person went on to say, yeah, well, eventually, if you keep saying it long enough, eventually something's going to happen. Okay, yeah, you're right. Eventually something's going to happen. But how long can they kick the can down the road? They don't want to give up the power that they have right now over the whole system. They want to try to keep things afloat for as long as they can. And it makes sense to want to. If you're in control and you're holding a tight grip on everything, you don't want to necessarily let it go. You want to fight or do whatever you have to do to hold on to that control. And that's why it's been kicked down the road so many times. But eventually, when you lose control, it's like holding a wild animal. Maybe you got a wild animal on a rope, but as soon as that rope breaks, you think that wild animal ain't going to turn on you? That's exactly what the currency of the U.S. dollar, that's exactly the way the economy is going right now. And eventually, when it turns, it could be a full reset. But like I said, I'm not saying panic. Don't panic. Make educated decisions. Look for deals. Don't be super picky about what you're picking up. If all of a sudden today you see what's going on, you start seeing the stock market's getting destroyed, cryptocurrency's getting destroyed, where do you put your money? You're worried about the banks. You're worried about everything. You don't run out and just take all your money and just flood it into silver and gold at whatever price you see. That's where mistakes happen. What you do is you look for good deals close to spot. Try to find as close to spot as you can. Don't get crazy and say, gold's going to the moon. It's going to be $100. I heard it on another channel. Because you didn't hear it here. Do I think it will go to $100 eventually? Yeah. But do you really want to pay top dollar today for silver when you might be able to find some deals today, some deals tomorrow, some deals the next day? I showed you guys the other day in another video on how you can pick up some silver at spot price. I mean, you're not going to be able to pick up a ton, but hey, if you can get a 10 ounces, 10 1-ounce rounds or a 10-ounce bar at spot, why not pick it up? In fact, I'd be calling every company, hey, you got any spot deals for new customers? I'm thinking about getting into precious metals. I'm thinking about buying a bunch from you, but I want to just put in, a small order first to get my feet wet, to see what the stuff looks like. What kind of deal do you have? Most of the time, they're going to be like, well, we have this at spot price. We have an ounce of gold at spot price, maybe 10 ounces of silver. Hey, we hope you're going to get it. You're going to like it, and then you're going to call us back and want to buy more. And to be honest, a lot of people do that. A lot of people, once they put their first order in, they start buying more and more, and they never leave that company. However, I'm telling you, shop around. In my opinion, I want to get as much bullion as I can for as low as I can. And I know some people make comments. I read a comment today about, well, that was kind of a collectible. That was kind of a collectible. Okay, do I pick collectibles up? I run in a circle with guys that have a lot of money, and they like collectibles. They like collectible firearms. They like collectible, oh, I shouldn't have said that word. I should have said pew-pews. They like collectibles. And so if I need a little money, having a collectible means I can, get rid of it fairly quick. But at the end of the day, having ounces, it's what's going to weather the storm. Do I care if I'm in a beautiful yacht weathering a storm or a little small boat that gets me through it? I mean, they're both going to get me through it. What I worry most about is the debris that's going to scratch up that beautiful yacht, And when you have collectible value doesn't really always do good when a financial storm comes. People are selling collectibles. That's the opportunity to buy. If you have money, that's why a lot of people talk about saving dry powder on hand, holding extra cash back for when things break down. Now, I'm not a big fan of that theory because, yes, I understand if things don't totally collapse, I'll still have a certain amount of money coming in anyway. But on the flip side, if things do totally collapse, I don't want to be stuck with a bunch of fiat currencies, a bunch of checks from a company that's about to go under, because that's exactly what fiat currency is. It's a debt, an IOU note. And, if I own a company and I write you out $1,000 check and I tell you, hey, I'm writing out 1,000 of these to other people, just don't cash it for a few weeks. Hold on to it as long as you can. You want to cash it as quick as you can. Why? Because I'm going bankrupt. I just told you, hey, I might be going bankrupt pretty soon, so don't cash that check just yet. Wait a couple weeks, just to make sure that the cash is in there. Nah, you're going to want to run to the bank and you're going to want to cash it, because when I go bankrupt, every one of them checks are going to bounce. But if you've got yours, you're covered. And, that's why I tell people, take some time, stack a little precious metals. I'm not saying bet the farm on it. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you my opinion of what's happening. With that being said, I'm going to wrap up the video here. I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. 22 minutes, not bad. I'm pretty happy with that results too. So thank you all for watching. And if you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button to help me out, and hit that subscribe if you're not subscribed. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And if you're not a member, consider becoming a member. It is only $1.99 right now, and a chance to win some free silver every month is pretty cool. On top of that, your comments go right to my phone, and that way I can see them, reply back to them. Some people ask specific questions, and if you're the guy that puts your password to your wallet and your wallet account and your password, and you're going to ask me, hey, I got the account, I'm trying to transfer it, don't know how, this is my password, please don't write that in the comments. I just get a kick. I see that same that same scam comment all the time. So take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.